Chapter 11, The Village by the Sea, that we are presented by our book 2. Okay, now let me introduce myself a little more. Hi, I'm Narine from Group 2. I have been selected to be the first presenter today, and I'm gonna summarize Chapter 11 of The Village by the Sea. I'm gonna show you about our agenda of our presentation today. First, I will narrate the summary for all of you, and then my teammate will present about our four main themes of the chapter 11. After that, we will finish our presentation by comparing to the real life situation. Let's begin. Chapter 11, The Village by the Sea. Harry tells Mr. Panvalas of his desire to go back immediately, but Mr. Panvalas encouraged to stay on during the rainy season and keep up his training. Now Harry really wants to meet him. Harry found out where the old man lived when he heard Jackoo giving a customer Mr. Panvalas' home address. Harry excitedly asked for it as well, and then went to visit Mr. Panvalas. The old man has a comfortable little home and is improving in his health. Everyone in his area loves him and they have been taking care of him. Mr. Panvalas is delighted to see Harry and they talk about Harry's plans to return to town. He suggests Harry should not have left, but Harry said he had to because there was no work for him there. Mr. Panvalas replies that he can find work anywhere as long as he can use his hand and be willing to change and adapt. Harry tells him of the factory and how he thinks only skilled workers will be wanted. Mr. Panvalas explains that maybe so, but there will be another providing food to the worker, and someday there will be a need for all those workers to have their watch and clock fixed. Harry laughed in delight. Why hadn't he thought of this? He tells Mr. Panvalas he wants to learn as much as he can. This is what the old man wanted to hear, and he tells Harry that one must always learn so one can grow and change. Things always change, nothing remains the same. Not even Mumbai is the same. Harry is lucky since he is young and can definitely change. The wheel turns as Mr. Panvalas said it would. Harry works hard and spends less time in the eating house. The rain slows. He never does go to the Desivar house. He is no longer a frightened and confused boy and is figuring out his own life. Harry wishes he could go back home after the coconut day, but Jackoo tells him off to really stay until they leave. When Harry tells Mr. Panvalas he is disappointed by this, but he knows Jackoo does for him. Mr. Panvalas says it is good to teach him more. Harry asks him curious if he is celebrating the Hindu festival because he thought he was a Parsi. Mr. Panvalas replies that he is Parsi, but he believes in sharing and enjoying everything. Later that day, they are finishing up their work on a Japanese watch. When the customer comes in to pay for it, Mr. Panvalas tells him to give the money for Harry who did all the work. Coconut day arrives and the sea is calm. The clouds puffy the sides and smell sweet. Mumbai seems like a fairground, and Mr. Panvalas and Harry enjoy the day together. Thousands of coconut pop in the sea where the people toss them, and Harry finds that traditional pop one. Mr. Panvalas warmly tells that he is a real city boy now.
Good afternoon, lecturers. Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing great. My name is Upir, and he is my teacher. So today I'm going to talk about themes in chapter 11 of The Village by the Seas. There are 4 themes in chapter 11, and those themes include desire to learn, need of survival, individual values of gratitude, and internal conflict. Without further ado, let's move on to our first point, which is desire to learn. People who have desire to learn don't depend only on classrooms or professors. In addition, learning is not only associated with books and textbooks. Those with desire of learning tend to associate it with themselves, and they aren't always seeking help from others. Moreover, they seek answers for every question. Furthermore, the people that have the desire never put back by difficulty and limitation. The second theme is the need of survival. According to Abraham Maslow, need of survival is the first and the most basic of all needs. Based on Maslow, there are 7 basic needs to survive, like air, water, food, shelter, safety, sleep, and clothes. Those basics may be low or high depending on situation, except air, which we already need. Without air, we can't live. The third theme is individual value of gratitude. This value impacts on how the people interact with other people who may or may not share their value. Individual value of gratitude stems from our backgrounds, religious, ethnic origin, culture, upbringing, education, and our experience of life and work. Internal conflict, or also known as a man versus self, it is the battle inside a character's mind about what to do or think. The example of the conflict can be found in books or movies, where characters show their struggle with their inner thoughts and feelings. There are many types of internal conflict. For example, conflict about religion, moral conflict, and conflict of love. This is the end of my part, so let's move on to the next presenter.
Greeting lecturer, and hello everyone. My name is Chitra, a Group 2 member. I'll presenting the examples of desire to learn. Let's get started. Desire to learn in study tech. Harry was physically poor, but he might not mentally poor because of his desire to learn. Since previous chapters, Harry was having hard time living in Bombay, but during the time he was working there, he could learn many things, especially from Mr. Panvala. In this chapter, not only did Harry learn to mend the watch from Mr. Panvala, but he was also inspired by Mr. Panvala's life lesson about the learning to change, growth, and the many opportunities, which made Harry's desire to learn growing even more. Desire to learn in real life. Having desire to learn is such a strong mindset which can help people achieve their desired dream. How? This is a primary example. Elon Musk, the real-life Iron Man. He is the 25th most powerful person in the world and the 23rd wealthiest person in the world. At the age of 10, Elon Musk decided to teach himself computer programming. 2 years later, at the age of 12, he sold his self-made games for $500. He later on pursued further education and co-founded Zip2 and X.com, which were sold, and Elon Musk earned himself $180 million. With only degree of economics and physics, he started space exploration company that cost more than half of his fortune. Not only that, he spent his remaining fortune setting up electric car company. In 2008, Elon Musk was on the edge of collapsing, with both companies under his execution, because both companies failed to produce any practical product. After failing to deliver rocket to to Earth's orbit for several times. He finally succeeded in his final attempt. Then, he signed contract with NASA and got $1.6 billion fund. His desire to learn from failing and self-learning allowed him to save both companies. Today, SpaceX is one of the biggest private space companies, and Tesla is one of the most prestigious companies known for making reusable energy vehicles. From his desire on non-stop learning, makes him to become the 23rd wealthiest person in the world.
Greetings to everyone, my name is Hunsi Radhi, and today I'm going to explain about the connections between the study text and the real-life situations. Let's get started with our theme, which is needs of survival. In the story, Harry was frustrated that he wasn't a skilled worker whom the factory would want. He thought of himself as an incompetent boy who had no ability to get a stable job. So, he needed to work hard in Bombay in order to survive, and could return to his village with some money left to support his family. In addition, for his family and himself to survive, Harry had to study a lot from Mr. Panvala. He fixed watches to be a skillful watchmaker so that he can escape from hunger and homelessness. Similarly, Cambodian migrant workers in Thailand decided to leave their hometown because of the needs of survival. In 2019, a Cambodian migrant worker said she had old parents at home. She couldn't afford anything to feed them because she couldn't find a job. She also stressed that if she didn't work in Thailand, she wouldn't have enough money to spend on her daily needs. There was also another worker said he had no field to do farming, and he also took loans, so he had to work hard to pay the money to the loan sharks regularly. Moreover, some of them expressed about their sufferings that they really wanted to go back to their hometown to live with their kids and parents, since working in Thailand is exhausting. In fact, some people who live in Thailand, they criticizing them for working such jobs, for instance, low-paid farmers and construction workers. We can see that because they need to survive, some of Cambodians live in our country for good and never returning back. So that's the end of my part. Let's move on to the next point that will be presented by my teammate.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Sylvia, and I will be responsible for the third point of interactive analysis of the connection between the study text and real life. And in this point, I will show you how individual value of gratitude relate to the text study and the real life. In text, Harry was the character that valued gratitude, as he always appreciated the help that provided by everyone around him, including Mr. Panvala, who taught him how to mend the watch and inspired him to keep learning. Also, Jagu, who gave him food, place, and work. For Mr. Panvala, when Harry overheard that Mr. Panvala was sick, he asked for Mr. Panvala's address. Then he went through a tough journey to visit and help taking care of Mr. Panvala in return. This was Harry's way of showing his gratitude and care toward Mr. Panvala. But for Jagu, who was uncomfortable around Harry after the trip to Jagu's house, Harry decided to visit Mr. Panvala to avoid the awkwardness between him and Jagu. Moreover, Harry felt thankful to Jagu, which is why he couldn't refuse when Jagu told him to stay in Mumbai for the meantime. Without Mr. Panvala and Jagu, Harry's life in Bombay wouldn't have been that good. They helped Harry during the task time, and Harry repaid them back with gratitude by helping them as much as he could. As in real life, we can see Chipmunk Group as one individual example. Chipmunk Group is a successful company and well loved by Cambodia people, even though they have become such a big and influential company. They never forget to feel grateful for their employees and customers who play a big part in improving their company development. To show their gratitude, Chipmunk Group have given back to the society through many occasions. They help society by providing scholarship to students, also building roads and pagoda. Their gratitude doesn't only benefit the society, but they also get good fame and respect in return for their business. This can prove that gratitude have good impact on either you yourself and the other party. Here we come to an end of my presentation and thank you for your attention. And later on we'll present the next point and also wrap up the whole presentation as well.
Hello teacher and everyone, my name is Lê An and I am the last presenter of today's presentation. And I am gonna present by raising the example in the study text and in real life, which focus on the theme about the internal conflicts. In the study text, it has mentioned about the self-conflict of Harry. The conflict is that Harry has to choose between whether he is going back to his hometown or continue to stay in Bombay. But the point is that if he go to his hometown, he cannot earn money and learn new skills from Mr. Panwala. Moreover, it is the request from Jaku, who gave him food and shelter in his tough time when he first arrived in the city. But if he decided to stay in the city, he cannot meet his family, which he has lost the information from them for almost half a year. And at the end of the day, Harry decided to stay in the city to fulfill the demand from Jaku and continue to learn the new knowledge from Mr. Panwala. So now let's moving on to the internal conflict of real life. I believe that everyone knows this guy. His name is Mark Zuckerberg. He is currently the founder and the CEO of the Facebook company. So back to 2006, Mark had a very big conflict with himself. So at that time, Mark had to choose between continue his study in Harvard University or drop out of school to develop his Facebook app. It is a very hard decision because he needs only 2 more years to graduate in this top university, but he also needs more free time to develop the Facebook and help the project to grow as well due to the rate of register from the user has increased. At the end, Mark decided to drop out of school and decided to choose to improve the Facebook app, and now Facebook became the global app which help to connect people together even we live in different parts of the world. All the decision making are going to affect your life. So before you decide to choose anything, you have to think clearly and look for the benefit of your decision. Choose the one that you think and believe it will provide you most benefit. Or if it is not happen as what you expected, then you won't be regret. And now it comes to the end of our presentation today and hope everyone enjoy it. Thank you.